Hello there guys, and welcome to another one of my reviews. Today we are driving a Porsche Panamera once again. This time the facelifted model, because this year in 2020, I'm saying 2020 because it's possible you'll see this review in 2021, but in 2020 the Porsche Panamera got a facelift for its second generation. So the four-door sedan, coupe, whatever you want to call it from Porsche, is now in its second generation, and this second generation got a facelift. There isn't much to say about the facelift per se, because to be honest, in typical Porsche fashion, this car got like one of the mildest, smallest facelifts in the industry ever. So if you look at it from the outside, you'll notice that, well, you'll probably notice, I'm not sure, that the headlights have a slightly different shape, but that's about it up front. That's it. Around the back, the taillights do have a different look. They have the same shape, but the bottom part of the taillights is now made with clear glass. So no more red glass for the bottom part. There's still the LED strip going from side to side, which is still red. But that's about it in terms of the design changes. Which is actually not a bad thing, because the Panamera looks good. It looked good when it first came out on the second generation. Still looks good, still looks modern, looks absolutely brilliant if you ask me. I loved its design. I didn't like the first Panamera. It was a bit of a hunchback towards the back, but this new one looks really, really good. So there really wasn't a need for Porsche to fiddle with its design. This is a 4S e-hybrid model. So this is one of the hybrids you can get in the range today, and you can get plenty of them in the Panamera range, which means it will have a couple of distinctive features on the outside. For example, you get e-hybrid badges on the front doors that have a lime green contour. The same goes around the back, where you have the Panamera 4S badge, which now has a lime green highlight around. So that's a dead giveaway. You're dealing with a hybrid model. Also, the green brake calipers up front and in the back are also a dead giveaway in terms of this car's character. There's also the fact that if you're a keen observer, you have two fuel caps if you want, one on each side at the back, which once again tells you that this car is no regular Panamera. Inside, the changes are even smaller. I don't see anything different. I know there are a couple of new trims, new colors available for both the outside and the inside, but other than that, everything is the same. The design is clear-cut, really simple, really easy to use. They got rid of all the buttons. You know, Porsche used to be known for having lots of buttons inside. Now they're basically gone. You have like 3 or 4 of them. Everything else is touch sensitive, and you get haptic feedback for some buttons. You get audio feedback for others, but you do get some sort of feedback to tell you that your action had an effect. Compared to a regular Panamera, you have a hybrid button over here, which allows you to access a hybrid menu for the car. This menu allows you to choose between different driving modes, both for hybrid mode and E mode. In E mode, the car basically uses the battery for as long as possible in order to be as efficient as possible, because this is a plug-in hybrid after all. Then there's hybrid mode, which has 3 modes. Auto hybrid, where the car will decide itself whether to use the petrol engine or to use the battery power to get around. There's e-charge mode, and then there's well, let's see. There is e-charge mode, which allows you to charge your battery using the internal combustion engine. And then there's the e-hold mode, which allows you to maintain the battery level to a certain percentage. Now, this e-hold mode will be very useful in case you're on a highway, you're approaching a city like London, for example. You know you're gonna go through the city center. You wanna go over there and use the electric motor alone. So if you are on highway, you can press the e-hold button. The car will maintain its state of charge, and when you arrive in the city, it will use the electric power to get around, which is like the best way to use this car. So what hides under the hood? Well, we have a very familiar 2.9 liter twin turbo V6 engine under the hood. You might know it from cars like the Audi RS5 or other S models from Audi's range like the S6. This engine will be found on a lot of Porsche models as well, and on other brand models of the Volkswagen Group. It's a new engine with 450 horsepower, and it's really good. It has a more than decent throttle response. I had the chance to test it out on the Macan. It has a very good throttle response. But on this car, since we are talking about a hybrid model, your throttle response will be drastically improved by the electric motor that is also to be found under the sheet metal. This electric motor, once again, is very familiar for Volkswagen, for the Volkswagen Group fans, because it's a motor you'll find on a number of other cars as well. It can develop up to 136 horsepower. So the total output of the car is 560 horsepower and up to 750 Newton meters of torque. What you should know is that no, the numbers do not add up exactly. So you would think that the car would be able to develop 586 horsepower. No, it can deliver up to 560, but it's enough because you also have all-wheel drive, and this car will launch itself from standstill to 100 kilometers an hour in 3.7 seconds, which is basically insane for a car this heavy. This is a sedan, I would call it a sedan, that tips the scale at 2.3 tons. So it has an SUV weight, but it has the performance of a sedan. 3.7 seconds is amazing. It's on par with the close to on par with the BMW M850i Grand Coupe, which is a rival for this car, but it's not a hybrid. So yeah, getting back to the hybrid character of the car, you have a 14 kilowatt hour battery in the back, which does eat up some of the space for the luggage. That's not necessarily an issue. I don't think you're gonna have problems with that. You get over 400 liters of space in the back. So I think it's an okay trade-off. Porsche also says you can drive this car on electric power alone for about 50 kilometers. I tested it out. I got 34 kilometers of range out of the full battery, which isn't bad at all, considering the weather is absolutely horrid today. It's raining, it's snowing, it's cold outside. So yeah, I think these are pretty good results overall. In terms of driving, I mean, it's a Porsche Panamera. I think it's the best sedan to date. It keeps its weight under check amazingly. I think the engineers basically hired some magical gremlins to push every wheel into a corner and keep the weight in check. It's absolutely amazing how well this car keeps its weight hidden and under control, even though, as I said, it's pretty heavy and it has a lot of grip. The automatic gearbox over here, this is an 8-speed dual clutch gearbox, which you will only find in the Volkswagen Audi Group, on the Porsche Panamera, on the Bentley Continental GT, and on the Bentley Flying Spur, because these three cars share the MSB platform, and they are the only ones to use this gearbox. There's also an 8-speed PDK gearbox on the Porsche 911, but that's a different gearbox. It's not related to this one. So it responds to your inputs brilliantly. The instant torque is absolutely amazing, and the car will actually drive itself on e-power a lot of the time. It will work out which driving mode is most efficient. Right now, I'm doing 110 kilometers an hour, and the car is using e-power. It can use e-power up to 140 horsepower. It will drive on the electric power alone, in case you were wondering. So what's the takeaway? Well, I think this is a very good choice if you're looking for a car that can provide amazing performance and also be friendlier to nature than other models in the range. This is a plug-in hybrid after all, so you should recharge it. If you're buying this car, you should recharge it and use it as a plug-in hybrid because the rewards will be huge. You won't be as harmful to the environment as in other cases, and on top of that, you know, plug-in hybrids can be used in two ways: to be eco-friendly and to offer more performance. In the case of the Panamera, this is a more powerful, a better performance car compared to its regular 4S model. At the same time, you can actually save the planet, save the dolphins and so on, if you're using the plug-in hybrid character of the car. So a study I read recently said that, you know, plug-in hybrids are not as efficient as they are touted to be. And that's understandable if you don't use the cars as they were meant to be used. This car was designed and created, it's meant to be used as a hybrid, so it's meant to be recharged every day and used as a hybrid. If you don't use it as that, it's just gonna burn more fuel than a regular 4S. So keep that in mind if you're looking to buy a Panamera 4S e-hybrid. That said, this car has a price tag of 167,000 euros. It has plenty of optional features on it. You know, Porsches are not cheap, so you can get a BMW M850i Grand Coupe for this kind of money. You can get an AMG GT 4-door coupe for this kind of money as well. So there are plenty of choices out there. You can also get a Mercedes CLS, the car that started the whole 4-door coupe madness. That said, this has been my review of the Porsche Panamera 4S Hybrid. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to, of course, like, share, and subscribe to keep this channel alive. Until next time, take care. Ciao.